Howdy, folks. Windy City Watch. We are in the studio tonight. We're doing a replay of Sunday night's speed run. So on Sunday night, I think I had burned up all my notifications, so we didn't really have too much interaction. And I thought that the videos that we showed on Sunday during the day, or the lives that we had on Sunday during the day, um, probably were worthy of audience participation and questions. And just I wanted to play this again so that we could get just a little bit more interaction and participation as we did this. Some of you probably watched the live today. I had trouble with audio again. Now, the good news is I caught all of the audio on my body camera, so I'll be able to kind of remaster that. I'll do that up again next, probably tomorrow. We'll see where time allows on that. But this morning this afternoon, we had a good interaction with Jessica. We got the blinds closed very quickly. There was somebody out on the street who was very skeptical of me at the beginning. And, as Jessica said, oh, he's just one of those. And I heard him even say, oh, one of those. But when he saw, and I told him, I said, watch me, I'm going to bring the blinds down. And I brought the blinds down. And all of a sudden he kind of like, oh, what's going on here? Right. And I had asked him, hey, why do you think they pull these blinds down? Ask Jessica, why did they pull these blinds down? So he finally did take one of my cards, and I do think that he's going to look at some of the stories that are on there. Now, for those of you that don't know, right, I've got a set of, this is the front and back of a card. These are inspired by Tori Magoo 44. Tori was in Scientology for 30 plus, almost 40 years. And she came out, I believe, in 2000, maybe 2002. So she's been out for just over 20 years. But this was something that she had. And her friend, Andreas, he was the one that created Xenu.net. And there's just all kinds of great information that's anti-Scientology on Xenu.net. So if you ever get a chance to head over there. And then we've got that scan code, which is going to take you to my website. And you're going to see a bunch of blog posts about Miriam Francis, Serge Delmar, Ellie Perkins. And Fuzzy's put that up there for you. I'll put it here on there. So thank you so much, Fuzzy. Fuzzy, it's great to have you back, and I hope that things are going very well where we're at. So thank you for being here. What else do we have going on here? I have finally compiled a large number of the child clips, and I'm working with Serge Delmar to get a panel with Serge and I, and we'll kind of go over what happens to children in Scientology. And I just wanted to be able to get all of the, not all, by the way, there's so many times that I've caught children going into the org, but Serge and I should have a panel coming up soon. So definitely, I would say if you don't have your notifications turned on, do that so that you'll be able to catch that. If you're joining us here tonight, please make sure that you check your subscriptions. I have been bleeding a few subscriptions, but it's probably because I've been bad on my lives. There's been some life stuffs going on, and I haven't been putting out content quite as consistently as I have in the past, but hopefully we're going to get back on top of that. If you're on the replay crew, please leave a comment. Share this. If you know of somebody in Chicago and you want to help them understand that there's a dangerous cult in their backyard and that there are some tactics that they're going to employ to kind of sucker you in to looking at what's going on in Scientology, please feel free to share this. It'd be most appreciated. All right. We're going to go ahead and start with, I was out there on Sunday. Karen, that's excellent. I understand. You are free to go to bed. This will be here tomorrow, but you have to promise me you'll leave a comment. So, but let's go ahead and we'll, Sunday, I headed over there just before lunchtime. And something interesting occurred as we approached the org. This is something that we haven't seen before. And by the way, I was impressed by how quickly they scrambled to solve this problem before I called the police on them. So this is Sunday. Like I said, we're just up before noon, so they haven't started going out to lunch yet.
I've just recently started seeing City of Angels channel out there, so let's make sure that we can show some love over there. And because it's new to me doesn't mean it's new. Oh, there is somebody out there handing out flyers.
This is 650 South Clark Street in Chicago's Printers Row. I'll jump you ahead a little bit.
One another.
So do you see what I'm worried about right now? Do you see what violation they're doing right now? Oh, 4 a.m. That's a tough day. What do you see out here at the org that we traditionally don't see? And I forget we're on a 20-second delay, so I have to kind of play the Jeopardy song. Do, 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 do. While we're waiting for that answer, I will tell you that tonight I am enjoying Sierra Nevada non-alcoholic hazy IPA. If anybody knows anybody over at Sierra Nevada, please have them sponsor me. All right. I 100% agree. Love the dog, Karen. All right. Let's see what happens.
Hey, Nino, do you guys have permits for these signs out here? Do you have permits for the signs out here? Or should I call the police now? Yeah, that's right. Just want to help you out so you don't get in trouble with the law. You know, these are real crimes, not your fake crimes. So you tell the police that I'm doing something wrong. Now let's move over to the shades real quick. Yeah, if you can get over here real quick. I'm on a schedule.
I felt spicy.
Seeing what, 2 or 3 people back in the other room.
The cafeteria is what
if you ever see them with those signs out here, they did not buy the permit. So that it's illegal for them to have the signs out here. So if we look here, right, the pizza place pays to have their signs out here. The cult of Scientology, they don't pay to have their signs out here. So if you ever see them out here, make them bring them back in. And again, we don't want them to have any beneficial advertising here. It's a cult. They do human trafficking, family separation.
All right. So, right, they've got the sandwich boards out on the sidewalk. They're not allowed to have that out there. It's illegal for them to have them out there. Now, I don't know if it's only that they won't pay for it or if there's a limited number of them that are available for that particular street. I've never really worried about Paisan, so I haven't called to check on their permit. I don't overly care about them. I might do that someday. But if you ever see them with those boards out there, you can dial 311 if you're in Chicago, which is the information hotline, and that'll give you like street if you had a pothole or something like that. But you can also call 911 on that too and say, hey, I see a violation here on the street. Don't let them have that out there. And remember, the reason that I want them to close these doors and to close the shades is I want it to look as uninviting as possible for people that have this flyer and they're coming in here. You're going to notice today there's a lot of people that are going to enter this org. They're having an open house and they did a very big push somewhere. They did some advertising. Maybe it was on Craigslist. Maybe it was on a Facebook event. Maybe it was on a meetup event. I'm not exactly sure how they did that, but there definitely was some kind of invite and they were trying to do something big on Sunday. Hey, Bridge, great seeing you. I forget, I can click when I'm in the studio. Bridge, loved all of the, Bridge found a lot of information about some of these people over the weekend. So that was great news that I saw that. And Karen's puppy with the cute little flower in her ear. So definitely call on that. We don't want them to have this retail presence. We want them to look very uninviting when people are coming to the org.
Child abuse.
I'm trying to remember what else we have.
See if we've got upstairs.
Oh,
Upstairs looks like everything.
next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of wander around, and I'm going to come back. Let's see here. We're at 15 minutes right now. I'm going to come back at 28 minutes. So in 13 minutes, while I'm wandering around trying to find body routers, here's what we're going to find. So I'm coming back to the org. I'm hustling.
Ha! They've got
Because
camera guy here again today.
yeah, they're trying to do a photo shoot right now. She's just now coming out to open the doors.
Doing your filming for the child abusers, the human trafficking.
Oh, drat. Might as well close them up again.
Don't bring those signs back out there. I'll call the police. Oh, you can't have these up. Look, it's empty inside. Now everybody knows that Scientology doesn't have any visitors. Here comes Joe Sakala.
Child molesters.
So the cult of Scientology doesn't like to be able to see for us to see inside. They do have a filming project to go on today, so they are going to try to get people to show that there's a large number of people coming in here, but no, they don't.
The guy with the camera, we're going to see him several times today between both of these videos. The second video is almost entirely he and his crew trying to do some filming that's going on here. But again, I'm getting the sense that something's going on here today. It was absolutely empty when I showed up at the beginning of the day. I leave for 13 minutes and they try to open the place up again. So they're trying to do something. They normally wait at least 30 minutes to an hour before they raise the blinds after I've been there. They need me not to be around for that kind of time. Let's see what else we have there. So, but they are going to pull the blinds down at this point in time. I'll go ahead and move it forward a little bit. And we're going to see some people come out. So one of the body routers, the smaller, rather petite young lady coming out. We've seen her body routing for the last 2 months, but we're going to see them come out of the org.
Anything positive to share about the church today?
This is a staff member going in.
Nothing positive about the church?
The one in the lavender is the body router. Notice the smile.
You know they're cults, right? Are you here for the human trafficking or for the child abuse? Look up Lisa McPherson when you get home. Look up Danny Masterson.
Sorry about that. Did you notice that she shakes the hand and then she pulls him to get him to keep walking down the sidewalk? She does not want him to stop and engage with me. Now, I think that he's a green recruit. I think that he's somebody that they're trying to bring into the organization. He's got this smile on the entire time. The other thing I'll say is I think that their plan was they're just going to walk away from the organization. She wants to get him out of my blast radius. But I'm going to try and follow them, and I think that they're going to take I think what they do is a detour.
Why is Danny Masterson still a member in good standing after sexually assaulting 3 of their members? When the members came forward, oh yeah, hide quickly. You don't think that's weird that you have to hide?
So, right, we see him very quickly that they shepherd him into Paisans, and Paisans is a safety element in this space. I love the Airedale, but Paisans is kind of a safe haven for Scientologists. If I talk to their wait staff when they're out there on the patio serving customers, their managers will come out and tell me not to talk to their customers. Now, I kind of tell them to go pound sand because they can tell their staff not to listen to me, but they can't tell me not to talk. In regards to what's going on, I have every First Amendment right to be there and to protest in the situation. So they've ducked in. Now we're also going to see a couple more people come out. So it's getting very busy there.
Again, I think the 2 people were green recruits, right? The only hope I have in those situations to pick up today. Anything positive to share about your church today? Did your grandma enjoy her visit?
If you remember, last week we had the tall gentleman, and he's young. He's 18, 19, 20, somewhere in that range. his grandmother was here last week, and when I said, "Hey, are you here for the child trafficking or for the human trafficking or the child abuse?" Oh, she said, "I'm not a member, and I'm only here for my grandson." And I was like, "Oh, it's okay for your grandson to support human trafficking and child abuse, but this is the son, the grandson of the person that we saw last week, and they're just going to walk away." Yeah, I don't think
She thinks it's okay that you
this one. Thank you, Karen. I really, it's hard for me not to agree with the audience. So I appreciate that. Thank you. And yes, we still need to get, and again, you've all seen that I'm terrible at merch, but I need to get that on merch. This next one, it's a really short clip, but I only want to show you because we're going to see this person again today. And he's newer. We've seen him for the past month.
anything positive to share about your church? LRH believed people of color were degraded beings. That's the founder of your church.
So the very first time we saw this guy, I said, "Do you have anything good to say about your church?" And he said, "Everything." Right. And that's a common, if I get a response at all, which is very rare, that's usually the response. "Oh, everything." And it's that general platitude of, "Oh, the world is awesome." And, but they can never give you any kind of specifics in that regard. Well, that same day when I saw him inside, he was talking to one of the older or more veteran members of the staff, and they pointed to me and then started talking to him. And my guess is the conversation was something like, "Don't ever talk to that guy. He's an SP," right? So that was the last time that he said anything to me. But we are going to see him in the second video. This one is, this to me is just funny. So earlier today, right, you saw them very rapidly bring the signs in and close the door. They must have hit a switch or something because I think they inadvertently locked one of these doors. We see
Anything
this guy a
positive to
lot.
share about your church? You know that door is not going to be open.
Now, he knocks. I think he's going to try to wait me out, but I'm going to put some phraseology.
Are you still
out there.
mocking up your own reactive mind? The cult of Scientology won't let you in today? Isn't that odd? You can't even get into your own cult. Why does the cult lock you out?
I've got a short coming up on this. Now he's going to go around back to get in, right? But I just think that that's such great video to show people that they are so afraid of anybody.
So sorry, I think one of the questions was, do they always eat here? They'll eat any.
Sorry. This one, it's only because I haven't seen this lady in a while. This is the DSA. So for those of you that don't know, DSA is Director of Special Affairs, and they're one of the OSA, Office of Special Affairs people that are kind of embedded in each of the organizations.
Why we're out here and doing the filming.
And she peeks out. She's got an
Here's my
awful lot of paper with
DSA,
her.
right?
So she's got an awful lot of paperwork with her. And my expectation, my thinking is she's looking out there because there's a VIP coming and she's trying to see, is the coast clear for my VIP to come or for my VIP to exit, right? Can they be safe from any kind of protestation that I might be offering them? And then we're going to see the new recruit again. And again, I didn't play the tape all the way through. You'll have to trust me a little bit on this. Hey, trust me, bro. We're going to see the young male.
Are you okay with human trafficking? You okay with child abuse? You're okay that a 14-year-old has to listen to an adult tell them their most perverse ideas?
The woman with the stroller is also Scientology. I'm going to try to peek into Paisans to see if he goes straight to the back door.
I want to see if he goes straight back through the back.
Yeah.
I have a hard time on this one. Yes.
Scientology is just known for that. It's just everything's an acronym. in regards to what's going on there. So Office of Special Affairs, right? That is the kind of the secret service of the organization. And it's what grew out of the Messengers organization, which was that the Messengers organization had to be disbanded when Operation Snow White came to light. But OSA is really just the Messengers org 2.0, right? One thing that I don't know if you realize there, that young male, he came out of the org twice, but we never saw him enter. So how did he get back in the org? He's already been taught, go to the back door, right?
See, I knew she was Scientology when she went by too. So we saw the young kid come out. Howdy.
This one's kind of bizarre. I'm going to back it up a little bit so you can just get a picture. So this couple, and I think I heard on one of the second gens or former Scientologist channels yesterday as well, that they're taught to acknowledge you and to acknowledge you firmly. And that typically, the reason L. Ron Hubbard said that is that if you acknowledge that somebody's talked to you, they'll stop talking to you, right? So here's a couple. They're going to enter the org.
Howdy. Are you okay with human trafficking and the child abuse that goes on in here? Yeah, you are okay with it. That's good.
His response was, yes, sir. Right. So my hope is that was just a responsive acknowledgement of what I said, but just the idea of, oh, yes, sir, we're going right in and we're going to go sign ourselves up for some human trafficking and some child abuse.
Good. Yeah. Did you come for the child trafficking or the human trafficking?
So at this point, we're going to see that guy again. But in the interim, we're going to see two little clips of children. And this one, I'll say he's a mid-teenager, right? Karen, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And Bridge, yeah, it's not confront and shatter, right? It's I need the C. I've said this before, but it's and scatter, right? So it's cower and scatter, not confront and shatter. So here, and again, there's the little suitcase there, which might be that he's doing purification rundown, but this kid's 13, 14, 15, something like that.
You're okay with the human trafficking and the child abuse goes on here? Right? Should children have to listen to adults tell you the most perverse things? Are you here to stop wars? Yeah.
Let me give you a little bit on, hey, are you here to stop wars? And we're going to see this person today, but show of hands, who remembers trashy V12 BMW, right? So trashy V12 BMW was really good at engaging publics. He would get public Scientologists to talk to him quite often. And one of the public Scientologists that he talked to said, hey, the only reason that Scientology exists is to stop wars, right? So Scientology is just absolutely incredibly good at stopping wars, and that's their prime directive, basically. That's the reason. Hey, Patrick, great to see you. And that one of the prime directives is that Scientology exists to stop wars. We're going to see that guy today, but that's the reason that I'm asking if people are here to stop wars.
No children in Scientology, my butt.
Right. So we just saw that child go in.
That child stuck.
And now we're going to see
I would have thought
another child exiting.
Children can't consent.
How old is she? 8, 9, 10, something like that? Again, I'm working with Serge Delmar to come on, and we'll just have a conversation similar to what we had with Laura FM the other day. Yeah, that's possible, but I'm going to say that he is so much more disarming than I am. he's persistent, right? But you're right that it's very likely that they're told all of us are very seldom able to talk to the same public more than once. Once we talk to a public, typically they're going to get pushed out pretty quickly. Folks, if you're not subscribed or watching Mike over at Auditing Scientology KC, please do so. And our lovely hostess this evening, Fuzzy, will help you out with that. Thanks, Fuzzy. But right, so there are children in Scientology, and what's really scary about this is that I'm going to guess here that that's a parent, right? Because it's I don't understand why such a young child be walking out with a staff member unless there's some kind of relation there. I have no understanding of if that's a true or false statement, but that's what it looks like here. What happens though is that person now is stuck. That child is stuck because their sense of normalcy is what's going on inside of this church. And if you want to understand how Scientology corrupts children into believing normalcy, you really want to go back and listen to that Lara FM interview that we did last Monday. I'm not positive. Maybe it was last Friday. But look for the Lara FM video and you'll see what she had to go through as a child in this cult. Now, the guy that went in, and when I asked him if he was here for the human trafficking of child abuse, and he said, yes, sir. Here he comes out, and I asked him about another person that we know about in Scientology who's a criminal.
You know, it's a cult, right? Why is Danny Masterson in prison for 30 years to life and still a member in good standing? But the victims were kicked out of the church. The victims that he sexually abused are kicked out.
So I don't know if you heard him. He goes, yeah, I heard. And it's like, wait, you understand that this church protects criminals and you're still going in there, right? He's going to go back out to his car. I think that we'll see him come back, but we'll go ahead and move on. And there's a couple of more Scientologists move on. This guy, he's a new player that we've seen in the last month and a half, 2 months in there. Now, I'm going to pause here. You see this woman, you see how the cars are lined up? She was parked about 2 cars back and she was sitting inside of there. I think that she is a neighbor here. She's just somebody who lives in the neighborhood. And I'm pretty sure it was either like Never In Nana or Heligear or Korn. And this woman came up and confronted them and said, hey, what you're doing is stupid, right? That protesting is stupid. And I'm going to ask her if she thinks the things we're protesting against are okay.
Is child abuse cool? Why is Danny Masterson in jail for 30 years to life and still a member in good standing? So why shouldn't I protest this?
And we're going to see the smiley new recruit pretty soon. And as soon as I get down there, they got to scatter again.
So I'm going to talk a little bit over this. We got the music going on here. Why is Danny Masterson a member in good standing for 30 years? He's in jail for 30 years to life and still a member in good standing. He sexually abused members of this church and they threw out the members of the church when they went to the police. That's what you're signing up for here.
I really hope that he goes home and tries.
If you're not against human trafficking, you're for human trafficking. What happens when they start abusing you? Who's going to stand up for you?
I like that question. And, you know, it's in the old world, right? That if you won't stand up for the people that are being wronged, eventually they evaporate and you're the only one left. And when the big powers come against you, there's no allies left, right? And that's what happens when you're the person who's the victim. Who's going to help save you, right? Earlier, I told you that trashy V12 BMW. So the person on the left, the larger fellow in the blue T-shirt, he's the one that said Scientology only exists to stop wars. So I'm going to ask him about that.
Remember when you told me Scientology is only here to stop wars? What are you doing in Ukraine? What are you doing in Gaza? Doesn't the Scientology tech, aren't you going to stop wars? You're not here to stop wars, really? Yeah? You got better things to do.
The tall gentleman said, we have better things to do. It's like, wait, if the only reason Scientology exists is to stop wars, but you have better things to do than that, aren't you, what is it, going after the wrong fish? There's a saying in Scientology that if you're concentrating on something else that isn't the prime directive of keeping Scientology working, it's wasted energy. I do think that it does confound them that I know a lot of this terminology and I sometimes know how to use it appropriately. Now, thankfully, we have folks like Patrick Patrick Skinner who likes to remind me and correct me of what I'm doing. And I don't mean that in any bad way. I love that we have a very helpful audience and they're more than happy to help me. Oftentimes, I'll stumble for a word. The audience comes back with that word very quickly. Or if I say something incorrectly, like Twyla right here, other fish to fry. Other fish to fry is a bad thing. When you're told that, hey, that's other fish to fry, that's somebody in Scientology telling you, you shouldn't be paying attention to that. That's distracting you from what Scientology is all about, right? So when he says they've got other things to do today, it's like, well, what could be more important than Scientology's prime directive of stopping wars? Thanks for coming in, Twyla. Great to see you. We're going to see a couple of staff members enter. This I just love. I'll back it up even and see if I can. So first of all, this guy is going to cam back me the whole time. It's like, well, whenever anybody cam backs me, I wave to them. So I want them to know I have no care or concern that you've got me on camera.
How you doing? Nice to see you. How are you doing? Anything positive to share about your church?
For those of you that didn't see the Lit Fest weekend, he came up as he played the part of, I'm just an interested civilian here. And he was in shorts and a t-shirt and gym shoes. And he came up to the booth where they were trying to sell Dianetics. And then he said, oh, this is awesome. And he picked up flyers and he started handing them out like he had just been converted into this process. And I tried to explain to everybody that was there that, by the way, he's actually a member. He's just pretending to be somebody in the public right now. But then after that, you're going to see two people walk up. And I always love when people try to hide. And you're going to see hiding in full display.
Anything positive to share about your church?
We're going to see her in the second video.
So now it looks like they're shepherding. Oh, that's the car that left at lunchtime, right?
So when I first get there, that car that's across the street, there was a male in it. And the male picked up the female that's driving the car right now. And moments before this, the woman that's in the full suit and skirt, she's coming out there and handed off a bunch of paperwork. Excuse me. So they're going to dicker around and chat for a little bit. I'll kind of jump you through this, right? So they're just chatting. And eventually she's going to head back to the org.
That they're trying. Anything positive to share about church?
Did you see her face? So remember, what's my question? Anything positive to share about your church? I don't think that's a vindictive question. I don't think it's a mean question. I just think that it's a question, right? And it's the opportunity for anybody in Scientology to tell anybody anything positive about the cult of Scientology. And she gives me the most side-eyed look that you can ever imagine. And I didn't freeze it perfectly, but you can see that we're getting a pretty, she's not impressed by my question. Let me back it up and I'll let it play through.
Anything positive to share about church? Yeah, nothing positive to share about church? You look like I'm crazy because there's nothing positive to share about your church, right? Did you see her give me that nasty, that side eye, right?
Adam, welcome in. Thanks for coming back. Great to see you. So one of the things, like I told you, I think that there's a open house going on and there was a mass advertisement for it because there's just an awful lot of people that come into this org today that I have not seen before. I see plenty of staff going in. I see plenty of publics going in, and many of the staff are in civilian clothing. Sigh-eyed, love that. But here we're going to see a mother and child show up, and I can tell they're confused because they were looking at their phone, like, is this the address? And they're looking at the buildings. So I can tell they're not used to being here. And but let's watch this play out. Oops.
No problem. Don't ever go in there. Dangerous.
Are they open for open house?
Yeah, it's a cult though. They're a cult.
Yeah.
Here's what you're going to find out. So these are victims of them. So that person no longer.
So as they came by, I said, hey, don't ever go in there. And they said, are they open for open house? So they've been asked, or they've got something that's telling them there's an open house here today. And then I'm passing them my flyer, my business card, and the business card, right, has Lisa McPherson, Serge Delmar on it. And that's what what I'm trying to give them right now. And the child is very interested in it when they take it. Yeah, I'll show up both of these. I do think it's very funny as well. And you're right. They do it so often to so many of us. Mike gets cam back in KC. Everybody gets cam back all the time. And I just think it's hilarious. Like, we're on video, right? We do this for not a living, but we do this as it's our channel's bread and butter. So do you think I mind being on camera? You're nuts. So anyhow, the mother and child are talking to me, and eventually they are going to go in, but we have a bit of a conversation. Oops.
Alive, right? Don't ever give them your name. They'll have your name forever, all right? Don't give them your name.
But I thought there's another one. What downtown?
This is the Scientology.
What about the other one? That the round building?
Oh, that's Seventh-day Adventist science. That's Church Science.
Oh,
Church of Christ Science.
Oh, okay.
That's what that one
Thank
is.
you.
No problem.
100%, Patrick. Let me see if I can jump through this. Eventually, we're going to see them go in.
Locked. You can go in here. I'm just.
Oh, she tries to go in the other door, but the other door.
That door's locked. You can go in here. I'm just telling you. Don't give them your real name. Don't give them your real number.
We were scared
So-
before. Now we're even more scared.
So she.
I don't know if you're hearing her, but she said, we were scared before. Now we're even more scared. I don't know. We were scared, but we're going to go in anyhow.
She's no longer alive. They don't believe in mental health. So if you went to a psychiatrist or a psychologist, you can't be a member. If you have a mental problem like that, you've got an issue with that. So just be very, very careful.
I don't know if I want to go now.
Don't give them any information. Okay, so they must have done heavy promotion on an open house today.
Now, I think we're gonna see I think one other thing first. Yeah, we have another interaction, but we're going to see that the mother and child come out again. So here, and by the way, this is another one where Bridge, thank you so much. This guy's name, I think, is Chris Romani, and he's dating the youngest Sakela daughter. So Joe Sakela being the founder of Dream Exchange and a great benefactor. He's a civilization builder, and his son is the executive director of this organization. Yes, I'm all for that. So we're going to see Chris go in.
Hey, Chris, having a good day? Anything positive to share about your church? How you doing?
Pretty good.
Yep.
Now, I'm a little bit suspicious of this guy because he's taking pictures of me and I can't tell like what's going on here. It is nothing serious, right? That's going on here, but it's just I'm like my the hair on the back of my neck is like, okay, what's going on here?
Church of Scientology.
It is the Church of Scientology.
Can I take a photo of you?
Sure.
Cool.
Don't ever go inside.
Why not?
It's a cult. They're involved in human trafficking. They're involved in child abuse.
Yeah.
All you do is go in there and they're gonna try to get you to buy a book, right?
Well, I know a little bit about it from, you know, Tom Cruise or
Yeah.
whatever. He's part of the Church of Scientology.
He is.
So,
Do you want to see a person who's no longer alive because of the Church of Scientology?
sure.
That person was abused as a child.
Yeah.
That person was abused as an elder in this church.
Yeah.
They took all of her money.
Can I take a picture of that?
Absolutely.
Who are you?
I'm just somebody interested in taking down. I don't like
the
the other.
Baptist, or are you?
I don't really care about the religious beliefs. I care about their crimes. So
okay.
I'm not
So you're like
anti-religion.
human rights?
Yeah, that
Okay.
and people will say
Human rights activists.
right. So
Okay.
and human trafficking is bad, right?
Yeah. How do I
Child
get a
abuse
hold
is
of
bad.
you? Like, are you on Facebook?
There's my YouTube channel right there.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna subscribe. Okay.
Thank you so much. And that one will give you my website. So you already
Cool.
got that.
Thank
You want
so
the card?
much. Yeah, if you got extras.
I absolutely do.
All right, cool. Thanks.
I love that I get subscribers at this retail level. I just have to I just have to shake hands with all of my subscribers at this point in time. But again, he's somewhat curious, and you're even as he walks away, he's still just taking pictures of everything. He's just recording his day, right? Is all that's going on with the camera. But he did take the card, and I think that he was genuinely interested, and I think that he will look at what that is to do. He asked me later on, "Will I ever see you again?" Because apparently he's in the neighborhood. I was, "Yeah, I'm here every day, right? It's my job. It's not my job, but I'm here. I'm dedicated to the process." The only reason I'm showing you this is because we finally find out what this person's name is. So this is the person that we used to call Olga. Her name is
We got
Elena.
Olga
And you know, she's in the Way
in
to
her
Happiness,
Way to Happiness shirt.
right? The light green version. And then we'll finish this out with the mother and child coming out.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Oh,
Oh,
thank you so much.
You want to take it?
Yeah, I would love that.
Okay, go ahead.
So I just want to warn you about a couple of things. You probably saw it in there. So this is one of their front groups. They'll say that it's human rights. This is the one that I was.
Let me pause for just a second right there. What they came out with is 4 CDs, which I still love the idea that people think people have CDs. Karen, her name is Elena. And then Bridge is helping me out with the young boy that came in earlier, and I said is dating Joseph Kayla's youngest daughter is Chris Romani. So when these two came out, they gave me this, which one is this? This is the Volunteer Ministry, right? And there's a CD in here. Again, I don't know who they know that has CDs. Scientology, an overview. By the way, Declared Dave, if you're around, you got a whole bunch of stuff coming your way. The Way to Happiness CD. So now I don't even have to read the book. I can just watch the movie. Human rights, right? And then this one I've had several times, and this is just a floor plan of the Chicago location. So these people went in and they came out, and yes, that's right. Yeah, the 8-track is a much smarter play. It just plays forever. And by the way, if any of you ever had an 8-track, the sound quality was fairly good. It was closer to analog than anything. So it sounded really well, but it just played forever. Yeah. So, right. Yeah. Hey, so who are you? Now, I've had other people ask me that, like, why are you out here? Are you with some organization on that? So I don't really worry about that question. I'm not as suspicious about that question, other than and by the way, I think I have a reasonable answer when I'm talking about this, right? And the scroll, or shouldn't they just come out with like Moses's 10 Commandments? Two rocks and a bunch of. If you look at what's in Way to Happiness, it is the 10 Commandments, right? All right. So, folks, that was our morning. My batteries are running low, so I said, okay, I've got to go get myself something to eat. But again, I know that they want to get this organization open because they've got people that are, I don't know if they pay the cameraman or if it's just that, hey, he's up there and he's got to get his stuff done before he heads back home. So I want to go ahead and grab something to eat pretty quick. I have to go see a man about a horse. I want to charge my batteries. So I go ahead and I leave for a little bit. That's yes. You know what? Now I want to, I wish I could draw like stick figure cartoons and just do a video, an explainer of here's how it works, right? Moses came down from the mountain, and if you give me $1, I'll tell you a commandment. If you give me another $1, I'll tell you another commandment. And by the way, I don't think that that's the way that the Judeo-Christian religions work, but it is the exemplar of, you just pay for everything in Scientology. All right, so I'm going to go away for a bit, and then I'm going to head back to the organization. I think I'm away for maybe 15 minutes, and what I do is I come back with my stuff plugged in to batteries. So we have the iPhone's mic, not my quiet mic. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take that off screen for just a second. So it was an eventful morning. I really thought that it was enjoyable, such an odd word, that there was an awful lot of interactions. And I think I uncovered quite a few things, showing the org's empty, showing the neighbors that they hide from this, explaining to people that are going in for an open house what they're about to go in for. So, to me, I thought it was a productive morning. Let me go ahead and again, I've left the org. I've gotten a little bottle of Gatorade. I've gotten rid of some. I've had my rest, and I'm about to head back to the org.
Ambient sound there, but we also.
So right, I'm coming down the street again, and I'm just now realizing that there are people out front.
Ha!
I'm going to go back a little bit, right? So watch as I approach, and you're going to see, so there's two cameramen in black. This is the thinner cameraman. He has what looks to be Asian features.
Those jerks.
He's about to come out, and he's about to come out and set the stage for all of his. When I walk up there, you're going to see that they're about to bring all of the body routers out, and they're going to take photographs of them exiting the building. But wait.
Ha! Still can't do your promo. Still can't do your promo, can you? No promo for you. No promo for you. Golden era fail. Golden era fail. Flunk. Start again. Flunk. Start again. Flunk. Start again. If you can remind him, can we get the blinds down here? Yeah, we want to make sure we get the blinds down. Come on, Scientology. Show.
All right. I'm going to say, there's part of me that says, hey, you're being a jerk, but I like when I'm being spicy, and I can show you that they work at my whim, that they're going to bring the blinds down when I tell them to bring the blinds down. Right. Now, as they start bringing these blinds down, let me see if you'll see it here. So you can see that they hustled all the people in the light green outfits. This is the person from the first video that I said, hey, you're going to see him again. So he's in his light green, and you're going to see him kind of stack up in this hallway. I think I'll be back here, but I'm going to detect their next move as we go through this. So we're going to get the blinds.
We want to make sure we get the blinds down. Come on, Scientology, show us how you can't show the public. Bring the blinds down. There you go.
Thanks, Karen.
Now let's see if they go out to they might go to the back door quickly.
I'm going to pause real quick. So the way that this organization works is that you can see the double doors that are straight back. So they're over the left, over the head of the leftmost person, the guy with the ball cap on. That's the double door. Yeah, hey there. Thank you so much, James. Really appreciate you coming in. So that's the double doors, and those never get propped open, and they usually they've stopped exiting there because I have a clear line of sight to those doors. What they're going to do is they're going into the to this hallway to the right that's out of my view here, but I also know it's direct access to a single door. So at the back of this building, there's a double door and a single door. They're going to try to get to the single door, and unfortunately, because of the activity they're doing right here, I've kind of sussed out what their attempt is. This, I really had fun on this video because they just kept on shooting themselves in the foot.
So since they're going back there right now, they're kind of hiding from me because the two doors that you see at the very far back, those are the two doors that I can see. They're walking over so they can walk out that single door. So they might go to the back and walk out that single door. So the camera guy is right looking to see. There's two camera guys as well.
That camera guy
right?
knows that I saw what they're doing.
Folks, we're going to do a little bit of running. I know.
I'll jump it forward to get us to the back alley. And as I approach, I want to be sneaky because I don't want them to see me. So I'm just going to poke the camera on at the edge.
Okay, so they're going to the south.
Dina, thank you so much. And I really appreciate that. Folks, I'm going, and I also want to get to James' comment real quick. Oh, yeah, I definitely want to get to James. Yeah, I'm going to miss being here in Chicago, and I worry about it. I know that we've got plenty of protesters. Many of the protesters have to come from out of town, out of state, that usually show up in Chicago. So I don't know that we're going to be here as consistent, but I will tell you that every time I am back here in Chicago, I will be visiting this org. The other thing that I will tell you is that I still have business connections up here, so I will come back for my clients every once in a while. And what I like about that is I don't have to pay for that plane trip, but I'll still be able to say hello to my friends here at the org. Thank you so much for the generous donation. Thanks so much. And by the way, I need to get new cards. Right, I'm running out of these, so I need to create another order of these. James, I definitely want to know more about this, so I'm going to see if I can get MD Media on, and we'll talk about that. Okay, maybe not sneaky, maybe just clever. Karen, one of my favorite videos ever was when the young, thin male would do the body routing, and he'd try to come out the front door, and I'd send him back in, and then he'd come out to the back door, and I'd send him back in, and then I'd hide behind this garage, and he'd think I wasn't there anymore, and he'd turn around and come down, and then I'd pop back out, and he'd just have the most. It was fun, right? I got to be honest with you, and I shouldn't have pleasure in other people's pain, but I knew that I was frustrating him from doing his job for Scientology. Dina, before I leave, let's make an arrangement, and I'll show you how safe it is. But let me know. All right, so we just saw, and by the way, I haven't been running as much as I need to, so I feel bad that I'm panting as I run down the road. But they're going to go out the south entrance. I guess north entrance, but no, they're going to go out the south entrance. So I'm running.
Hear me breathing.
Going to get down to the other end. So I've come down to the far end. They've already made the corner. They've turned around the corner of that red brick building.
Yeah, they didn't get past me this direction. not taking them down this way.
Sorry about the wind noise. I just got it's just the iPhone mic at this point, so I don't have noise cancellation.
Ha, there they are.
And now I found them, so I feel good about this.
How far do we want to let them go?
Let me jump forward a bit.
Just so you know, it's a cult of Scientology. That's Scientology that just gave you that. Can I have it? Thanks. By the way, that's Scientology. You just got a flyer from Scientology. Do you want that? Yeah, it's Scientology. Poor Janice.
I love that. And yes, poor Janice, but I will say they were persistent in handing stuff out. I was persistent in collecting it. The only one that they got by me at the very beginning of this little section right now, you saw a car stopped at the stop sign, and one of the people handed the person in the car. And while I can run adequately okay, most cars are faster than I am, so I couldn't catch up to the car. Thank you so much. Very generous of you to say that, Bridge. So now they're going around the corner. And by the way, I used to live in this neighborhood, so I know a few tricks about what they're doing. But they're also showing me their playbook, right? This is probably how they leave the org now when I'm out in front, so that I can't find them.
So they went down an alley again.
I really do kind of want them to get away, because I like when they have to take a long walk of shame. I used to live in this area, so I know where I can duck in and duck out of places.
But we just learned one of the ways that they come out the back. Can you guys hear me, by the way?
I don't know why I whisper. I'm letting them get a little ways ahead of me, and then I'll jump over to the other side real quick.
Some hidey holes here.
Now, that parking lot has an opening at the far end by the red building, so I'm going to duck in there real quick.
Why aren't they taking any pictures in the alley?
That way I can run.
So now they can't see me because this fence is here, but there's an opening at the far end.
So we'll get down there real quick.
I kind of got to let them cross the street.
Hey, there's half a Modelo if somebody wants it.
Yeah, this is 2 blocks, just like the block of the building that they're on is 2 blocks. So it goes from 600 to 800. We're going north, so we're going towards the 600.
Let me jump
I can
out there.
talk when I talk.
I'm going to go hide behind the outhouse
Thanks,
real
Fuzzy.
quick.
Back this way.
And I want them to get across the street, so they commit to going across the street before I come out. They're about to engage 2 people coming out of that parking lot. I'll jump up there real quick.
Folks, that's Scientology. They won't tell you, but that's Scientology. Do you know who Scientology is? They're the ones that Danny Masters is in jail. That's who this is. Don't take that. It's very dangerous. Very dangerous.
I just want to replay that. So after I say it's where Danny Masterson is in jail, watch his reaction, the guy in the jacket's reaction.
Won't tell you, but that's Scientology. Do you know who Scientology is? They're the ones that Danny Masterson is in jail. That's who this is. Don't take that. It's very dangerous. Very dangerous. Can you, English? Yeah. That can show you all the people that they've abused.
So
these are their crimes. If you want to take that.
Okay, and I've got to go catch up to the. And again, I think that the one cameraman had to have heard me, but they don't really seem to have any heightened sense of we need to scurry back to the org. Maybe they don't know that I'm here yet. And I'm trying to stay somewhat obscure. I wait until they head across the street. You can see there's 5 uniforms in the Way to Happiness, and then the 2 people in black, which are photographers. By the way, we're going to figure out where these photographers came from, too. I love that little train. It's an Italian diner. Wendy wanders the city. I'll show you all the best restaurants here in the city.
Yeah, me too. I'm very surprised. I'm very surprised they didn't just turn around and go back.
I'm going to pause for just a second. Serge, I am going to send you. I've compiled a bunch of children going in and children coming out. I want to see if we can get together this week. So I'll send you an email and see if we can get something scheduled. But thanks for showing up. Now, as they're walking away, I'm getting impatient, I think. We'll see if any of them know the Wall of Fire.
Hey fans, let's talk about Xeno. Now remember, Xeno was in the far off galaxy and it was overpopulated. So he was taking all of the bad Thetans.
So I want to see if everybody notices this, that as soon as I started telling the Xeno story, the guy in front realizes he's got to stop things, because many of these are brand new. The guy in the black, I don't know what the headdress that he's wearing, he's only been around for about a month. So it's highly unlikely that these people are clear or OT3. But you'll notice that as soon as I started into the story, the guy in the lead kind of puts a halt to this process.
From the galaxy out there. And he froze them. Confront and shatter. Confront and shatter. Flunk. Start again. Flunk. Start again. Flunk. Start again. Flunk. Start again. Oh, I didn't have.
So the lead guy here, which is the guy on our side in the black uniform, black outfit, he just says to Elena, who is somebody who I didn't know their name. She's what I was always call the Eastern European blonde, or Olga. I now know this person's name because she's giving me a cam back, and this guy says, Elena, don't do that.
I have her name. Thank you. Hey, Elena. How you doing?
And he keeps on telling her, don't.
Listen to your boss commander here.
Now they're going to do the walk of shame. I'll kind of jump.
So anyhow, he puts all these frozen Thetans in DC-8s, and they travel back to Earth, puts them in volcanoes, and then they blow up those volcanoes with hydrogen bombs. And now that you know that and you weren't ready, if you catch pneumonia, I apologize.
So
do you want that?
Sorry. They just
you know, it's Scientology.
Another flyer.
Do you want that?
And I'm going to go collect the other flyer.
They're going to bring you
they got 0 flyers handed out.
Thank you. They never like to tell you they're Scientology. She's getting coaching right now.
Watch it.
So he's getting coaching, or she's getting coaching right now.
She's getting a mixed message. Some people tell her to cam back me, and he's telling her don't. So again, Scientology
Folks, you can tell.
never gets their
By the way,
stories
I also
straight.
have my body cam on.
Eventually, they get across the street.
Scientology work or not?
This I thought was interesting.
If you believed in Scientology tech, why aren't you here confronting? Does Scientology work or not? Believe it or don't believe it. Don't be sheep.
And I've always wondered this. If they believe in their technology, why don't they sit there with the victims that they hand these flyers off to as I tell them all the crimes, right? Why aren't they sitting there telling me, oh, he's a liar? Oh, why aren't they trying to refute anything I'm saying? And it's because everything I'm saying is a very truthful statement.
Jail for members of your church.
I just told them
Those
about Danny
members were
Masterson.
disconnected from their families when they came forward to the police.
Now, again, I always give them the respectful distance. I don't want the stalking charge and all that fun stuff. That I don't care about these people. I care about the flyers they have, and I'm going to contact anybody they hand them off to. But this is just that we're going to see again, just this long walk of shame back to the org. I do want to tell them these stories, so maybe if they have internet access, will they look up Danny Masterson? Will they look up Lisa McPherson? Will they look up Serge Delmar? Will they look up Ellie Perkins, Whitney Mills, right? All of these names that I'm putting out there.
Today, there's a camera in the background. Didn't know exactly who he was.
And I just like
Got the walk of shame.
Ducks waddling back.
So, right, they closed the blinds in the wrong order, so I could see them trying to eke towards the back door. And as they eked towards the back door, I knew that they were going to go out the back alley. And I guessed wrong, right? So I came up to this end of the alley, so I had to run all the way down the 2 blocks.
So you can see the photographer is getting ready to, he's kind of changed his camera around. He's going to start taking pictures of me. And every time he takes a picture of me, I hold the flyers up like this so that his picture, when he goes to tell OSA, is going to show an SP with all of the propaganda that he tried to hand out today, right? That he and his crew tried to hand out today. So I just love that even that is such a bad story for him to get caught taking a picture of. Look at this one guy took all of our flyers.
Good snapshot of me, not sure.
Oh, sorry.
Our fella might try to get a good snapshot of me, not sure.
And here he comes, right? So
how do you do?
I'm waving at him. All right. We're about to get a fire truck through here, and I did something stupid. I'm muted, and I forget to unmute, but we're going back towards the org. They've handed, so this is a CTA bus driver sitting across sitting against the fence. This happens to be a pause in the bus cycle. So the buses pause here and they get to take their break. You don't get on or off the bus here as a passenger. The buses just stop here so they can take their break. They've handed him a flyer. Sadly, and I do have it on the body cam, so I'll be able to create an edited video of this. So I do have the vocal or the audio on the body cam, but you're going to see me kind of go up to him, and unfortunately, I'm just mouthing it, but I'm going to say, hey, by the way, that's Scientology. Did you know that was Scientology? They gave you that. Don't go in there. They just want money. You can tell, like, you can see the seriousness on, oh, it's Scientology. what I told him, I said, look, they don't even put Scientology on the back of that thing. They won't. And by the way, they don't. It says, right, it's got the Human Rights Org Foundation and a Chicago phone number, which, by the way, when you call that Chicago phone number, it's going to answer it as Scientology. So after these people pass, he's going to go ahead and hand me back the flyer, right? 0 flyers handed out. It's going to take me a while to get the sound back, but you can see the guy cam backing me, right? So the photographer is trying to get a bunch of pictures of me. I'm again showing him the Way to Happiness manuals.
Folks, so sorry about that. Thank you. So the bus driver, what I was talking to him about was, hey, you know that's Scientology. He goes, really? I said, yeah, it's Scientology. And I said, look at the back, and yes, it says Scientology on the back there. Then you saw the guy trying to take a picture of me the whole time.
Okay, so I've caught them out there trying to pass out these flyers, right? And they get caught. They have to take the walk of shame back. Well, on a hunch, I say, you know what? Now that the blinds are closed, they're going to try and sneak out the back again. And go through here.
Didn't really care. I gave him my name, right? They've got 2 cameras.
And I'm kind of going down to the bottom of the street.
There's an SP with all of the
wrong both times. So I can see them gathered in the alleyway way up there. Now it's funny. Remember the first time I went around the back, I went to the north end of the alley, and they came south. Well, this time I'm at the south end of the alley, and they're going north. So, but I did correctly predict they were going to try and get out again. It's going to be interesting where they go this time. I'll jump down the alley.
I found back here. I do have.
So I'm just cutting to get us up to the alley. So I'm worried that they might have kind of stopped right behind that. Whenever I have to go around a blind corner, I make a very wide turn around that corner. And that's just a safety tip I would advise you all of. But we're about to encounter 2 more victims.
Just want to take the corner wide.
There's a child, right?
That's Scientology, just so you know.
These are Spanish speakers.
Es una secta.
Okay.
No, you don't want. Es una secta. Bad. Dangerous.
Okay.
Look this up. Do you want that? It's dangerous.
What he's doing right now is he's getting his phone up so I can talk into his phone.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No English.
No problem. The cult of Scientology.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you want that?
So he's reading through his Google Translator and he goes, "Oh, okay, thank you." And
Do you want that?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He had a Google Translator.
so I now have a Spanish version too.
They've gotten across the street. They're around the corner by the train station.
Now the end of this video.
Raise the phone up. I'll do it.
Do you see that white car? It's a Pacifica. They're getting in that car. So now I know what they're going to do. They're going to try. They need to drive out of the zone to get away from me, right? I'm going to kind of hang out here until we can see they close the back door so I can see where.
So they're going to go out into the neighborhoods now, right?
I'll just jump this forward a little
Excellent.
bit.
Thank you. Bridge, you're brilliant. Thank you so much.
Bridge, don't let that go to your
It is
head.
a Florida plate.
Who was surprised that it was a Florida plate? Now the next one I'll show you is
Again, this.
sorry. The next one I'll show you. He's going to make the most graceful 17-point turn as he tries to get out of this parking spot.
Oh, this one actually. So this is Way to Happiness in Spanish. This is my first book in Spanish. Oh, sorry. That's.
Well, that focus never came in.
I've got the focal point way out there. El Camino, the road, la felicidad, the road of happiness, right? He's doing a nice 17-point turn to get out of the parking lot.
So apparently Scientology doesn't have good driving lessons. He's going to struggle to get out of here. I want to get a good picture of me with the flyers and the car coming by.
It's the white car that's going to come by. So that car is loaded with Scientologists, folks.
Now remember, there's 7 people in that car, 5 in green uniforms and 2 in black uniforms.
That's too much tint in Illinois. So it's a Pacifica AS9 2RD.
One of the things that I think is amazing about the audiences on all of these Scientology channels, 3 different people sent me back the tag information on this, where it was registered to, what kind of vehicle this was, when it was registered, all that kind of stuff. And it's just amazing how much we're there. Now, I'm not going to show you all of this, but when he goes to that white building is a T intersection, and that's Polk Street. So that's, the 800 block. If he goes to the right, he gets stuck. There's a dead end. There's no way out. If he goes to the left, he can get out and go wherever he wants to. He goes right. And then when he goes right, he'd have to come back down that street, and I'm going to catch him at the next stoplight. Well, they decide instead of coming up that street, they're going to turn left at the next corner, which takes them to a true dead end. There's no way out. So again, he has no idea where he's at when he's doing this. So just to me, I thought it was a very eventful day. I think that I caused Scientology a great deal of pain and embarrassment, and the idea that I just never want them to have an easy day in Chicago. So that's kind of what we got going on there. Any questions? Anything else we can talk about tonight? If not, we can definitely see who else is out there in SPTV Nation. And again, I'm not sponsored by Holiday Inn Express nor Sierra Nevada, but I do have my Trail Pass non-alcoholic IPA that I've been nursing as we've gone through this tonight. Thank you, Fuzzy. I think you're biased, but I'll accept it. And thank you so much. Again, that I know that you're going through a heck, and I really appreciate that you're here supporting me, make sure things are going well. Thank you, Bridge, just the same. And again, Bridge, thank you. I mean, honestly, the information that you can find and send to me, it's really impressive how quickly you can find out that stuff. Spock, I really appreciate that. And yeah, I like doing these speed runs because many times I'm out there for as many as 8 hours a day, and it's not 8 hours of activity. So I want to do these so that people get out there. Let me see here, James. Let me. Dan Walks LA. I hope. I don't want to restream somebody else's channel, but I do. Fuzzy, can we put MD Media's channel in? And let me see if I can find this morning's video real quick. I assume it was alive. Oh, these are all one day ago, or was it a video? Yeah, I would say let's go over to MD Media at least to watch that video. I think it's this video. Yeah, I see it. So I'm showing 850. So I think this is the video. Again, I'm uncomfortable just totally restreaming that, and I'd rather MD Media get those watches. So if we can do that, that'd be awesome. You know, it's to me, I don't want to just steal his content per se. So it's not that I don't want to give him credit. I want to post as many links as I can out there. He is incredibly generous to all of the channels in making sure that he's announcing that. So here's the clip, and then yeah, and definitely I think I'm sure it's going to show up on Natalie tomorrow. By the way, Dan is back out, and it looks like he's just got a renewed vigor, and it seems like things are going very, very well for him. I love to see that he's back. I think that he was he felt run off at some point. Oh boy, there's a lot of folks out there. Yeah. Okay. Let's go see Dan Walks LA. All right. Show him the love for coming back. All right, folks, I really appreciate everybody being here tonight. Again, check your subscriptions, make sure you're there, put on all notifications because I go live whenever I can in this space. Look for a video or a stream from Serge and I as soon as I can make arrangement with him, and we'll go from there. You all have a great night, and let's all go over to Dan Walks LA and say hello.
Welcome back to a Windy City They Tan Watch, the channel where truth meets freedom, right here in the heart of Chicago. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to stay updated with our latest investigations, interviews, and insights. Your support fuels our fight for freedom and truth. So, let's dive into today's journey, armed with knowledge and the relentless spirit of the Windy City.